right, guys. So you'll notice one thing with the Democratic Party is when they lose, whether it's an election, whether it's in legislation, self reflection is not something that they tend to do easily. And you could see that very easily with Kamala Harris. When she lost, there was a time where she made these speeches. She kind of went out on a sympathy tour, kind of an ego tour, where she would go into a room and just have people clap for her, and then she'd deliver some word salad and leave. But never really having to account for the terrible campaign she ran and for all the people she let down and for just taking the party to all sorts of extremes that it's still having a tough time pulling back from. So it's cool when you see that their planned attempted comebacks kind of blow up in their face. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. But before we do, guys, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, like, share this video, and tell everybody about the Libertarian Lens. All right, guys, so let's check out this video out of Newsweek, this article out of Newsweek. Kamala Harris's comeback hopes take a major blow. It says former Vice President Kamala Harris has kept a fairly low profile since losing the 2024 election to Trump. But as she weighs another run for California governor next year, experts say that might be a safer bet than mounting another White House bid. So in other words, she's just not presidential material. And the sooner she realizes that, the better. And why is she not presidential material? A lot of this is not her fault. I mean, she was never given the opportunity to improve as a candidate. Regardless of her checkered past, the Democratic Party itself never really allowed her to develop as a candidate because she had two things going for her. She's black, as she considers herself, and a woman. Now, why is that a setback in the Democratic Party? I know a lot of people say, well, that's an advantage. I mean, she's a Democrat, she's a woman, she's black, she's got all this going for her. Well, here's why this is also a setback. Because as a black, as a female, you're less likely to ever be held accountable as a Democrat. No one's going to really hold you to account for anything you do. So like I said, this self-reflection problem the Democrats have, it's even worse when it comes to blacks and females because they're never held to account. So therefore, they're never given the opportunity to improve. As soon as they're no longer the flavor of the month, then there goes their hopes and dreams, whatever those were. So this is why this is also a bad thing in the Democratic Party and why it's kind of a smokescreen to say that blacks and females have an advantage in the Democratic Party when, yeah, they may for the moment, but if that's where you're going to improve on yourself, I'm sorry, but the Democrats aren't going to do that. They're never going to hold you responsible for anything. Let's keep going. It says Harris has said little about her future plans, though she's expected to make a decision by the end of summer. And here's some quotations. It says, as disappointing as Kamala Harris's loss in 2024 was, it won't be the last chapter in her political biography. That's from Thad Cousar, a professor of political science and co-director of the Yankelovich Center for Social Science Research at the University of California in San Diego. However, Cousar said a presidential run in 2028 is unlikely since the Democratic Party is collectively soul-searching to find a new vision and may not turn exactly to the same candidate who lost the last election. He goes on to say, I do not see much of a political future at the national level for Harris due to a variety of factors. So he says the stain of a national presidential loss could be difficult to overcome. Again, the Democrats are very much concerned about their brand, not so much about improving upon Kamala as a candidate, not upon maybe improving her communication skills. Who knows? She may have some of the best ideas, just hasn't figured out how to communicate them, but that's not really a concern for the Democrats. They're just looking for that flavor of the month, and Harris is not that anymore. Also, they say Harris could face a tougher battle if she chooses to run. The contest is expected to attract a large field of candidates. So she's going to have a lot more competition next time because everybody's going to be searching for that flavor of the month. She has 100% name recognition out of the gate, but the question about her role in the Biden administration and her stumbling as a candidate could also knock her back, along with the general hangover effect of the 2024 loss to Trump. He said a better path maybe if she stays around and participates in national conversations and helps Democrat nominee in 2028. And if the Democrat wins, she's rewarded with a cabinet position. This person, this thinker, is saying that the best Kamala could hope for is a cabinet position. And I agree. I think that's the most realistic path for her at this point. The question is, though, will the Democrats get it? Will they find some way to prop her back up? Because if you remember, it was the mainstream media who told us that Kamala Harris was the next thing since Obama. And when she failed out of the gate, it was again the mainstream media who tried to resurrect her campaign in 2020. Both attempts failed, but that doesn't mean the media has learned their lesson. They may try again in 2028, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Let me know what you guys think in the meantime. I'll be really anxious to start the conversation with you. This is where the real conversation starts, guys. So leave me some comments down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.